Hello, welcome to Astronautics for Exploit. This is Dr. Anyashola Ogundele. Orbital city concepts and ideas, next generation orbital space complexes for an infinite frontier and exploration of infinite resources. The focus points of my presentation are as follows: orbital city and its importance, and orbital city concepts and ideas. Over the years, various concepts and ideas of orbital cities have been proposed. In 1976, Gerard K, in his book The High Frontier: Human Colonies in Space, envisioned many humans occupying space habitats in the Earth-Moon system, especially near stable Lagrangian points. He proposed three designs: Island 1, Island 2, and Island 3, containing two Oni cylinders. He further proposed that the habitats were to spin for simulated gravity and be illuminated and powered by the sun. Apart from Oni's proposal, there were also different proposals such as Lewis 1, Kalpana One, Bubbleworld, Bubbleworld, and a host of others. One idea of the urban city development is to transform an Earth-like object using bottoms to form Martian or lunar cities. The second idea is to develop a low Earth orbit city model, which can eventually serve as the outer space commercial hub, homesteads, and eventually turn into urban cities. The third idea is to develop a free space city model in the form of floating cylinders with artificial gravity, making use of in situ resources. Some of the reasons for embarking on urban cities are survival of human civilization. In case of either a man-made or natural disaster on the Earth, exploration of abundant natural resources in the outer space, and to take advantage of microgravity environment for manufacturing purposes. Urban cities offer various advantages. For example, continuous and reliable solar energy, in situ resource utilization for the construction of the city, great feel of the Earth, planets, and galaxies. The proposition for urban cities is twofold. Initially, urban cities can be located around the orbit close to the Earth. As technology advances, the city can be expanded and spread into other parts of the solar system. Research findings show that urban cities, when fully developed, will have potential of accommodating trillions of people. Urban city and its importance. Over the years, there has been various proposals on the establishment of urban city, a space habitat intended as a long-term home for permanent residents in outer space in a chosen orbit. It is a planned futuristic city for the evolution and expansion of humanity into outer space. Illustration of Ulysses designed for polar orbit around the sun is shown in this picture. Some of the reasons for embarking on urban cities are for the survival of human civilization and to explore the abundant natural resources that is found in outer space and to take advantage of microgravity environment. Illustration of urban city is shown in this picture. Urban city concepts and ideas have been proposed, and some of them are highlighted as follows: Island 1 and 2, Stanford Torus, McKendry Cylinder, Honey Cylinders, Bubbleworld, Nautilus X, Think Abro Spherical Space Station, Bigelow Commercial Space Station, Aurora Station, Voyager Space Station, Northrop Grumman Space Station, and Orbital Reef Commercial Space Station. In 1976, Dr. Gerard K proposed Island 1, a modified Banner sphere with a diameter of only 500 meters, rotating at about 1.9 revolutions per minute to produce a full Earth artificial gravity at the sphere's equator. Island 1 is designed to be capable of providing living and recreation space For a population of approximately 10,000 people with a crystal palace habitat used for agriculture, sunlight was to be provided to the interior of the sphere using external mirrors to direct it in through large windows near the poles. Artist's impression of the exterior field of a Benisphere space habitat is shown in this picture. Island 2. Only envisioned the next generation of space habitat as a larger version of Island 1. Island 2 will be approximately 1,800 meters in diameter, yielding an equatorial circumference of nearly 6.5 kilometers. Island 2's size was driven by economics. The habitat was to be small enough to allow for efficient transportation within the habitat and large enough to support an efficient industry base. Benosphere interior is shown in this picture. Stanford Torus is another concept of orbital city. The Stanford Torus is a proposed NASA design for a space habitat capable of housing 10,000 to 140,000 permanent residents. It consists of a torus, or donut-shaped ring that is 1.8 kilometers in diameter, and it is envisaged that the construction will use materials extracted from the moon and sent to space using a Mars driver. Sunlight is to be provided to the interior of the torus by a system of mirrors, including the large non-rotating primary solar mirror. Exterior view of a Stanford torus is shown in this picture. A mass catcher at L2 is being designed to collect the materials, transporting them to L5 where they could be processed in an industrial facility to construct the torus. The proposed location of the Stanford torus is at Moon L5 Lagrangian point, a rotation of 1 revolution per minute. The picture here shows interior of a Stanford torus. McKendree cylinder is another orbital concept. A McKendree cylinder is a hypothetical rotating cylindrical space habitat comparable to the more well-known Oni model. It was proposed in 2000 as an update of O'Neill's, using carbon nanotubes instead of steel and aluminum to allow for much larger structures. The picture here shows illustration of McKendree cylinder habitat. O'Neill's cylinder. An O'Neill cylinder, also known as O'Neill's colony, is a space settlement concept proposed by Gerard K in his 1976 book titled The High Frontier: Human Colonies in Space. O'Neill proposed the colonization of space for the 21st century using materials extracted from the moon and lithium from asteroids. An O'Neill cylinder consists of two counter-rotating cylinders. The cylinders will rotate in opposite directions to cancel any gyroscopic effects that will make it difficult to keep them aimed towards the top. Illustration of McKendree cylinder habitat is shown in this picture. Cylindrical rotation. The cylinders rotate to provide artificial gravity on their inner surface, and the habitat was planned to have oxygen at partial pressures roughly similar to terrestrial air, 20% of the Earth's sea level air pressure. Nitrogen will also be included to add a further 30% of the Earth's pressure. Island 3 cylindrical space habitat is shown in this picture. Bubbleworld is another orbital city concept. The Bubbleworld, or inside or outside concept, was originated by Cole in 1964. It is a rigid space station that is shaped like a cylinder, rotated to achieve centripetal gravity. The concept calls for drilling a tunnel through the longest axis of a large asteroid of iron or nickel iron composition. Illustration of Bubbleworld is shown in this picture. According to the concept, a very large solar reflector will be constructed nearby, focusing solar heat onto the asteroid, first to wet and seal the tunnel ends. The concept is planned to produce artificial gravity by centrifugation. The interior filled with fuel, air and water. Illustration of Bubbleworld concept is shown in this picture. Nautilus X is another orbital city concept and an idea. It is a rotating wheel space station that Mark Oderman and Edward Anderson of the Technology Application Assessment team of NASA proposed. The concept was first proposed in January 2011 for long duration, for about 1 to 24 months exo-atmospheric space journeys for a six-person crew. In order to limit the effects of microgravity on human Earth, the spacecraft will be equipped with a centrifuge. A global view of a multi-mission space exploration vehicle called Nautilus X is shown in this picture. The original goal of Nautilus X was to be a stopover to long-term missions for the Moon and Mars. To ease route planning of the whole mission, the station will be placed at the Lagrangian point L1 or L2 of the Moon or Mars, depending on which location is to be visited. The objectives are self-sustained for long-duration missions with crews as large as 6 and to support crew landing missions. Nautilus X Extended Duration Explorer front view is shown in this picture. Think Orbital Spherical Space Station is another orbital city concept and idea. Think Orbital is planning to accelerate the accessibility and commercialization of cislunar space through cost-effective pressurization, scalable and multi-purpose infrastructure. The company chose spherical shape to provide a large space volume and allow for optimal defense against debris and thermal effects. Think Orbital proposed orbital space station is shown in this picture. Bigelow Commercial Space Station is another orbital city concept. Bigelow's business model requires a means of transporting humans to and from low Earth orbit. The Bigelow Next Generation Commercial Space Station is a private orbital space complex designed by Bigelow. The space station will include both Sundancer and B330 expandable spacecraft models. Bigelow Aerospace Space Station Alpha concept is shown in this picture. Orbital Reef Commercial Space Station is another concept. Amazon joined Orbital Reef Commercial Space Station project to provide supply chain logistics and Amazon Web Services for the private orbital outpost, which is slated to launch by the late 2020s. The Orbital Reef project is led by Blue Origin and Cedar Space and is a partnership with Boeing, Redwire Space, Genesis Engineering, and Arizona State University. Orbital Reef Commercial Space Station is shown in this picture. Orbital Assembly Voyager Space Station is another orbital city concept. The Voyager Space Station is a proposed rotating wheel space station planned to start construction in 2026. The space station is aimed to be the first commercial space hotel. It is proposed that the special starship can be used to shuttle space tourists to the Voyager station, which will accommodate about 280 guests and 112 crew members. Voyager Space Station, which will feature a restaurant, bar and vacation villas, is shown in this picture. Aurora Space Station is another concept. It was a technology concept for a private commercial space station in low Earth orbit, designed by Orion Span. The concept envisions a capacity of 6 people, 2 crew and 4 tourists. It includes taking part in research experiments, such as growing food while in orbit, which guests can take home for a super small souvenir, and swimming over their own turn. There is also zero gravity ping pong, complete with floating equipment. Aurora Luxury Space Hotel is shown in this picture. Northrop Grumman Space Station is been designed by Northrop Grumman, and it is a free-flying space station concept that is focused on commercial operations to meet the demands of an expanding LEO market. Northrop Grumman's commercial space station design will use current flight systems and advanced crew-focused technology under development that allows for rapid deployment with modular expansion to meet the growing needs of the space economy. Northrop Grumman's low Earth orbit commercial free-flying space station is shown in this picture. For more information, contact Astronautics for exploit. You've been watching and listening to Orbital City Concepts and Ideas, Next Generation Aerospace Complexes for an Infinite Frontier and Exploration of Infinite Resources, presented by Dr. Anyashola Ogundele, Astronautics for Exploit, with the focus points Orbital City and its importance and Orbital City Concepts and Ideas. Thank you.